I'm going to talk about getting over impossible soul wounds. There's a keen metaphor here. Keen. What's a better word for keen? Let's look that up. Keen thesaurus. Determined would work. Yearning, ambitious, wishing, perceptive, discerning. It's mostly like discerning with yearning is probably what strong, sharp, piercing. Keen seems to be the better word, doesn't it? It's probably why I use it. Raring, ambitious, acute. Let's look more. It's more similar in opposite words. Committed, impassioned, fervid. Can you imagine me saying the word fervid over and over again? Keen, penetrating. So there are words in life that are perfect, that you keep using, because that's what you mean. Even though it may be self-flagellating or masturbatory, but that's the word. All right, it fits the bill, and nothing, even when you do your research, can actually replace that word in life. Now take out that word. It doesn't exist. And you've used it over and over and over again throughout history, and now it's missing. And it was all you ever really had. So that is your soul wound. Your impossible soul wound. Because not anything fits that bill. Whether it's a child being stolen from you, that was your soulmate. Or you getting stabbed. You can't even walk down the street anymore. There are soul wounds that we have in life that just do not go away. And it doesn't matter how many healers we go to. And you hear this stupid phrase, time heals all wounds. And you go, I've been holding on to this wound for 30 years and it doesn't seem to go away. And then the next lifetime, I have a spider crawling on me and I'm trying to let it go. There we go. The next lifetime, you have the same wound. And the next lifetime, and the next lifetime. Because you never fixed the issue. Or you never healed the emotions and the mental body surrounding that wound. So how do I get over the word keen once it's gone and nothing can replace it? Nothing. Now the intelligent person is go create a new language or create a new word. And that's probably what our goal is in life. This is Ravenclaw, so this is the mental bodies. All right. So we're going to talk about the soul wounds. I have a number of them. I have a family that refuses to talk to me. or acknowledge that I even exist. After I starve to death on a beach, okay, I've done thousands of hours of like service or free babysitting or free Photoshop. My older sister wants me to do her math class for her so she can pass junior college, okay? And she'll pay me $1,000, even if it took me 500 hours to do. So, and then she'll starve me to death on a beach and won't even say hi. All right, so like just deep level of rejection and isolation and alienation from an entire community. When you have been alienated, and this is after you're already very spiritually enlightened, that you play the game for another decade as you're like a selfless servant, and they still treat you like shit endlessly. And they never adopt you, and they never even adopt one piece of advice you even have. But they'll go pay Tony Robbins $5,000 while you starve to death and are poor and homeless. Because Tony Robbins knows what he is doing, and you have no clue. My favorite is my sister going and getting energetic facials, and I'm an energetic master. But she'll pay the energetic facial woman, I don't know, $300, and then smite me with, oh, look how fabulous this is. All right, so like crazy family, crazy narcissist family creates a deep and penetrating soul wound in your psyche that will last forever. And it never goes away. Because when you see other people's happy kind of happy family, you go, that's not mine. I have like no love. Or you hear somebody like Elijah going, yeah, if I starved to death on a beach, my whole family would have shown up and supported me instead of ignored. 2 years later, still ignored. Oh, she's just a schizophrenic. So we can just ignore everything that she has to say for infinity. So that you are disenfranchised as even a legitimate human at all cost. And then they preach the gospel and the word. So it's the endless story of the black sheep. And it never ends. So that's one kind of soul wound. That's mine. A lot of people have it, though. Then you have the twin flame soul wound. Where you know who your twin flame is and they refuse to even acknowledge you exist. And they're rich and famous. Or anything. And then they go marry a psycho cunt and then have an entire family, a fake family, in front of your face. And then you hear them talking about, I want my soulmate. And then you're like, you just spent 9 months having me get knife raped. Well, you pretended to play house with a reptile. So that's another level of soul wound. Then there's my guru fucked me over sideways soul wound. So you give somebody all of your money in hopes that they're going to help you find God. And then they either knife rape you, or they throw you to the wayside, or they rape you in the physical world. Okay. And this is an endless psychosis. So there are deep soul wounds in life that leave you traumatized for infinity. The modern mystery school creates these soul wounds. Star Fuentes definitely created mine. I never let the mystery school get to me that bad. It was bad, believe me, but it was not that bad. What Star did over the last 9 months has left a scar in me that I will never trust anybody unless they get their marks. And then mind blown. And then the way everybody decided to handle it by hiding under rocks and pretending it didn't happen. Or that it wasn't affecting me that bad, or that it wasn't like bombarding every inch of my life for every breath that I would take for 9 months, that I was being suffocated. So the reduction brain trigger where, oh, that's nothing. That's not an issue. That's not really that bad. So I don't have to help or handle it at all. So the way everyone has handled everything, even though it consumed me, having her possessing her energy in my body and controlling. There were times where she would grab a hold of my body and make me beat. And there were times where her evil was so dark, where it was actual malevolence instead of psycho demon, ha ha ha, funny game. So I never really gave my power away to Star, ever. I wouldn't have done this Kabbalah class if I really gave my power away to Star. But so there are other soul wounds, like my children, that I donated eggs to. Some people will have abortions, and that will create a wound within them that cuts to the bone. And mine is, my kids are out there, and I can't even talk to them or counsel them about all the crazy psychic downloads they might be receiving. So they get labeled as schizophrenics or ADD people. And they hear 500 voices in their head, and they don't have the discernment on how to handle it. So, and then there's the soul wound where I'm like, I can't even be around my nieces. And they are like the loves of my life. And I get to watch them grow up through the astral planes, because my older sister is a psycho cunt. So there's also the soul wound of my own mother having me knife raped in the astral plane and having voted for it and saying I deserved it because she wanted to teach me a lesson. And that's what she wanted. Because then it will straighten you out. And that's who my mother is. So there are other soul wounds, like I can't even pay my bills. and no one's going to help me. That's not as much of a soul wound, but it's really demeaning to watch everybody else talk about abundance. And I can't even apply for like government assistance to pay my bills. There are also soul wounds like watching Greta on the cover of Vogue and like a book deal with 500 books when I starved to death. And not one person actually gives a shit. But she is the hero of the planet, and Mother Earth loves Greta, and Mother Earth hates Kali Ren. Even though I've given literally every inch of my soul and heart and brain for over a decade, training to take care of this planet and provide an ascension. I have sacrificed my money, my family, my time, everything. And Greta goes and sits on a fucking rock. So there are impossible soul wounds. In life. And you have to get over them. You don't have to get over them right now. But you have to get over them. All right. My soul wounds really began to manifest after college, when that was the first time I ever felt like I had a community ever that loved me and felt kind of like it was this Gryffindor and we all loved each other. It was Lynn and Josh and Brianna, and we all had a sense of humor, and Aaron Preston, and we had just a love and an appreciation for each other. And then after college, everyone moved away, and I was left behind in Los Angeles. Going, what the fuck am I doing with my life? Because I didn't go to college. I didn't go to college with an agenda or a set plan or direction like the rest of them did. Brianna, I'm going to become a graphic designer. Okay. I have my thing. Josh, I know I can get into this advertising. I was floundering and left to drown. And emotionally. And then I was left alone. And I spent a lot of time going to the movie theaters alone. I found a job, thank God. I was taken in by Kimberly Metz after college to do a free apprenticeship or free internship doing Photoshop work. And then she kind of guided me up and elevated me. Then I got my first job doing Photoshop work. And I would spend my Friday nights going to the movie theaters alone. And then crawling in bed and crying myself to sleep that whole weekend. So that's when my soul wounds actually began. But then we look back, and my soul wounds were really living in an abusive home. My father doesn't care. endless over being bullied out of high school. So they stay and they become very repressed, and you live in denial of them. And you never actually heal that issue. And if you look around the planet, you seek for spiritual people that end up being psycho. You seek for spiritual people to save you from those wounds that end up taking all your money and throwing you out on the street. But they love, and you're a victim, and you're just playing the victim, so I can abuse you even more. Teresa Ibis knows that that is her. So let's not pretend. So that Slytherin reptile. Gryffindor goes, I'm throwing you out on the streets. Go get your A&R marks and then come back. That. And your dragons can take care of you. Or you can send us an email and then become friends with us over time. Yeah. All right. So these crazy soul wounds add up. And you're just left with like a pit of darkness. And you seek for the light. All day long. Every day. You get childcare. You got the home. You got the inner beauty, outer beauty. You get downloads. But your soul rots. And it's just like desperate. What do? How do you not mask it with drugs or overworking? Because they stay there. And they bleed. It's like Ravenclaw is like a bleeding heart. So this is how I handled it. Or handling it. Sleep. These deep soul wounds lead to psychosis, to sleep too much or too little. So I try to get enough sleep. And it's like 10 hours a day, maybe 11. And that way my body feels like it self-heals and my brain can self-heal through all of the psychic downloads and all of the astral world trauma. Because to heal your brain, you need more sleep than a normal muggle that does not do anything. Jill Bolte Taylor has an entire TED Talk and regimen around it, around what it took to heal herself after a stroke. And it's not just the self, it's like dealing with everyone's criticisms and psychotic reductive thoughts or judgments about your own needs. So you have to like take care of yourself. Okay, so sleep. The next for me was dragons. Somebody said, oh my God, I know. So Charlie, It was my first. Charlie came at it at a position of tough love, but on a soul level where he understood the actual depth of pain that I was in instead of reductive judgment. So tough love has to come from a place of understanding. Otherwise, it's crucio instead of inspirational. So one feels like a football coach. The other feels like a mother trying to stab you. If I feel like the mother that's trying to stab you, I'm sorry. That is not my intention. That's why I say go hang out with your dragons. All right. So to sit with your dragons and feel them and just be day after day and year after year, it begins to heal your soul of the delusions of that. Because your dragon stays constant and clean, and I'm there for you in each breath, in each sense of being, year after year after year. And then you watch the human muggles go, oh, I love you. Oh, you sleep too much. Oh, get out of bed. And they go psycho. And abusive. And the dragon stays. With you. With you. And then they make a critical judgment. And you go, yeah. Because you're receptive to them. Humor. There was nothing like After I Starved to get me connected with Lucifer. Where Lucifer would come through and just make me pee my pants laughing. Day after day, day after day, day after day. And it took everything and then threw it into the lava. Because at that point, I was like, yeah, I'd rather be a schizophrenic homeless person listening to Lucifer make me laugh all day long than anything else. Because it was the only place where I felt loved. Walks. All right. Walks. I just waste my time. I just waste my time. It's just money down the drain. I just waste my time. So like that's how emotionally and mentally sometimes I feel about walks. But the reality is on a soul level. This is where I talk to God for 3 hours. It's my meditative download. It's where I do all my processing and processing. I can survive today. I get my walk. I get all my ideas. I get all my downloads during my walk. I get my classes, my creative material in my walk. before my hunger strike, I would do my walk, and I was writing that Dragon Queen article, and I would just be on my phone typing it out on my 3-hour walk. So that's where I connect to Mother Earth. And I see the problems on Mother Earth too. And I get outside and I see how people treat me, how they treat each other, how sterile they all are, how contracted their energy fields are. And I go, maybe I'm not psycho. Maybe there's a level of comparative value that I needed to witness when I was on my walk. And then I would find the high vibe runners or the people that were fit, and they would run and they'd inspire me to heal more. And then I connect to the trees, and I connect to the ducks, and I connect to the swans and the ladybugs. Value. Oh, wait, I can do all my grids. I can do my 8th house next to work or my 5th house next to work. But historically, that is only a recent thing. Before it was just connect to God. Connect to God. Process, psycho, psycho, psycho. On my psycho, leave. On my psycho, just leave. It's okay. Leave. Now it's the time where Lucifer channel, like Lucifer teaches me stuff, or Rava teaches me stuff, or like Elijah will come and say weird stuff to me. Anyway. I would not have survived this long without it. Okay, trying to heal or not trying to heal. You can heal your physical body. You can heal surface level work. You can get your ANR marks. You can do all the clearing work out of the lower worlds. You can do that. You can heal this. You can heal that. All right. It doesn't heal on a soul level. It kind of does, because it gives you the idea that healing is possible. But there are wounds that you cannot fix like that. It doesn't matter who you go to. There is nothing that's going to replace my nieces. And the cut that it makes in my body, in my brain, and my soul. Just sending them love. That's what I can do. Through the astral planes. That's all I have. Fixing planets and stuff. So let me give you why it's such a soul wound. This is my sister. If you weren't a schizophrenic, you'd be allowed to be around my kids. If you weren't a crazy person, you'd be allowed to be around my kids. But I'm going to go to psychics that tell me a bunch of stuff that may or may not be true about my children. But you're a schizo and a psycho. Kabbalah teaching, what's that? What do you do all day long? Okay, so like my soul will never heal because of that. Period. Because that's what's always in my face all day long. And I can pretend it doesn't exist. And I can let it go. But a soul wound like that needs to be shifted and changed. My sister's the most enlightened person. All right, fixing planets and stuff. So getting my mind off the psycho soul wound and going, oh, this is how the planet feels. Somebody's saying, shut the fuck up. This is how the planet feels. This is how other planets feel and the star systems feel. So now I'm going to do like grids or A&R work and genome switches on the planets and the dwarf planets and the moon and the stars and the galaxies. Because now I can resonate with where they're at. Because they're all wounded in some way. Otherwise, life would be amazing and perfect. Like Mother Andromeda knows what it's like, the Eowyn, Arwen kind of thing. Like that's an old story for infinity. Like she has to be a thriving Galadriel galaxy, and then her mate is a planet or a star system. That here's Mother Andromeda, here's her Frodo. Like, so they all have their own kind of twin flame psycho relationships. And it's mind-blowing. And you can feel the tension. You're like, how do I heal those two energies? All right. And then there's the whole component of like God, Father God, and like Mother Earth. Like, Mother Earth, like, where is Father God? I'm being beaten to death and raped to death. Where is Father God? So where Mother Earth feels totally abandoned, except for a few little fairies that come to help. So finding a way to balance and temper those issues and doing grids actually gets your mind off of your own soul issue. And then you work at healing greater soul issues between the star systems. It helps. Doing important things that matter. All right. My life doesn't matter, the whales does. I'll go die for them. My mind is no longer focused on being starved to death. My mind is no longer focused on being beaten to death as a kid or being abandoned. My mind is no longer focused on any of that. It's like, I'm starving. I'm in the now. My body is starving. And I am at war with Hollywood. Now I am being a voice to creatures and the planet that had none. So now I have a platform to heal my soul and burn through all the junk. So that heals on one level. It does create another soul wound, though, doesn't it? Like, But there is a sense of heroism that comes, a high Gebura that comes through your body that never goes away. And you find a sense of self-empowerment that actually transcends other issues. You also do things like open up Netzach or Tiferet, and so much more healing energy can come through. All right, getting back to normal. Or finding a new sense of normal. So after crazy trauma, finding yourself taking care of your home or your body and resetting is important in the moment. But getting back to normal, like that never happens. That's like Frodo after going on an adventure, coming back to Hobbit Town, and then going, it never goes back to normal. Ever. I can find a new normal. All right, finding the real better space is probably the more important direction. So I have this twin flame soul wound, and then Eris comes through. And I don't want to talk about Eris so much right now. But you've got to find a new better. And it's got to be a real better. You can't replace your twin or your soulmate with a resume. You can't replace it with a girl or a boy that can't match up. You have to find like a real better. Otherwise it leaves the gaping hole. You need to replace it with a true love, true sense of joy or happiness. Sometimes when kids die, somebody gets a pet, or your dog dies and then you buy a cat or another dog and you develop a new relationship. And sometimes if that relationship is not better, that wound from the previous one stays very prevalent because there is no sense of healing. You need to find the real better space even on your own dream. So most soul wounds are also attached to a fantasy of what could be in the future. Oh, he can be the Dragon King. Oh, he can be my Prince Charming. All he has to do is this, this, and this. And you create this whole reality around it. And it might last for a decade, or 2 decades, or 3 decades, or 4. It might last and permeate for existence. What you need to do is find the new, better space around the potentiality of your dream. You need to find a new dream that doesn't include your soul wound. You need to find a new dream that is actually better than the potentiality of your future. Because if you don't find the better, then you're going to hang on to this dream. You need to find your better dream and then get rid of this one. Then you can let go. When you let go, you can bring in the healing energy. All right, this one's Baba G's. It's pretty awesome. Not chasing insanity. Baba G. I am a master that sits on a rock in the Himalayas. I want a Hay House book deal. Like, okay. So if Do you understand? So, like, the idea that Babaji, the immortal or transcendent Peter Pan guru master, was chasing a Hay House book deal is crazy. That's crazy. So, what it, like, maybe you guys feel that I want a Hay House book deal instead of a star position at Sora. Like, we're gonna go create Hogwarts, and you'd rather have a Hay House book deal than be a star teacher at Sora. So maybe you're going to be something other than a Hay House watered down middle class junk spiritualist, and maybe you're going to actually be a master. And then we hear a master should be able to do both. Yeah. Do the Sora position first, and maybe then you can knock Hay House with a bat and destroy them. You're right. A master should be able to do both. Knock. Do you understand? Don't chase the little thing. It's like chasing a mouse down a hole. Instead of going like, I'm going to learn how to be a jaguar. And then I can dig and then demolish that mouse if I wanted. Yeah, you're right. A master should be able to do both. Yeah, put that on the back burner. Okay. Khaleesi and the whales. I think we already covered that. Doing things that are important. So for me, it was, I'm going to get over my soul wounds by becoming Khaleesi. My whole persona is going to be Khaleesi, but with Hermione Granger attached. So I found my inner Khaleesi, and I go, fuck everyone, Dracarys. And I do it for the whales. And I do it for my nieces. And I do it for a purpose. And that heals. That brings in that Gaebra that comes through to heal my soul. Don't override your dragon. Okay. Your dragon has knowledge and wisdom. And they'll say things like, you don't take magic seriously. Even if every single inch of your body, brain, and soul is like, I spend 30 hours a day doing magic and taking it seriously. Okay, so your dragon said it for a reason. So don't override what your dragon has to offer. Because your brain can't comprehend or won't comprehend what your dragon is trying to present. So Lucifer is like, I need more knife rate papers written for me to clean out the lower parts. And then my brain goes, I don't have the time. Okay, so Lucifer has a voice, and when I override it, I lose. And then I lose out on the potentiality of new growth. And that new growth is what provides my healing. Let's talk about new growth and healing. So I was on my walk yesterday, and I was doing all the A&R work, and I was doing the 8th house, 5th house Nexa work on the solar system, and I got to Eris. And Eris is like a god of war. Goddess of war, god. I see Eris as a male. Not Ares, but Eris. She was the Greek goddess of strife and discord, which is war. Conflict. Conflict, strife, that's war. Okay. So we're finding Eris, the dwarf planet. We're doing Eris. And then Eris pops out. And he feels like Lucifer. And he's like this cute little guy that's super smart and like high boundary. But not like high boundary, like high five. And he feels like Archangel Kamael. And it feels like me, Lucifer, and Eris are best friends. And we all kind of vibe at the same. And then I realized I get all the downloads about Eris. Golden Boy of Gryffindor. Golden Boy. He is the knight in shining armor. So Eris, there is not one single energy around Eris that is impure or weird or sadistic. It is all just like inner child, activated. I am type A, but I am type A in like a very healthy, basic masculine way. Not psycho, but fun. And he presents himself to Mother Andromeda, bending the knee, and go, I will serve you, and I am not a knife rapist. So it's like very knight in shining armor, very adorable and cute. So he knows what to do, and he has a shrewd sense of understanding because he's a very old soul, but he's very youthful in his demeanor. And he's all about simplicity. And he's watching me do my pages and throwing away my money, throwing away my time, doing my pages. And he cuts it down. And he goes, 1 dragon a day. For the eggs. 1 dragon every 2 days. That's all you need. And he cuts it at such a shrewd level and in a very high vibe masculine way. It's something you want to listen to. And it makes you feel like you're getting taken care of. Because it's knowledgeable. It's filled with a wisdom. And he's talking about dealing with the A&R paperwork for the dragons. And he goes, it's funny that you think that people need more than 1 dragon. And then somebody's going, oh my God, I know. So people should only be doing their 1 dragon of the A&R paperwork. And then he goes, and then here's a class. Oh, in that class we have to do another dragon of A&R paperwork. And then a year later, here's another class. Oh, more A&R paperwork for another dragon. So the way that Eris presents everything is much more refined. It's not take everything all at once. It's like knowledgeable and wise. Because here is Eris, the king of dealing with strife and discord. And knowing what is in the heart. How to deal with the dragons. So I'm doing my schedule today, and I have a few meditations and mental body installs to do. And he goes, that is too many. And then I instantly cut off 1. I'm not listening to him all the way because I'm still myself. But it's definitely a key point that I want to know and do. Is that Eris is about reducing, and simplifying. And through that act of simplification, I am in the undersell, overdeliver, or just on point. And then he comes through and he goes, I am not in the undersell, overdeliver section yet. We are just doing what's on point. Humor. Eris's humor is astounding. Because the way he presents himself is the exact opposite of Elijah Wood. And everything that I want in a guy. So that he can actually show me what guys are capable of. What men could be capable of in this lifetime. And he's very humorous about it. And it will show me what his knife rape is versus Lucifer's knife rape. And he goes, mind bless. And his knife rape, just if Eris has any knife rape that's still in existence, is like one little dot point at your butt. And where Lucifer's is still like, still kind of gross. And it's like a thorn bush in between your legs. That's why Lucifer needs his pages written. All right, still, we need to get to some of the more lower worlds. Anyway, but Lucifer is funny about his own, and Eris is even funnier. Yeah. I choose Khaleesi. Okay, so Eris comes through. Never stop being a dragon queen. The big thing about a soul wound is that the other parties will neg you and 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 neg you more and reject you and neg you and reject you and renege. And so it's just this constant undermining of any sense of self-empowerment. Oh, you're going to be a dragon queen? So it undermines any sense of confidence that you could be using to heal yourself. And Eris comes through and goes, never stop being a dragon queen. I choose Khaleesi. And he means it. And there's not one hint of doubt surrounding it. So where Elijah goes, you want to be a dragon queen? Knife rape. Eris comes through, never stop being one. So healthy boundary, undermined boundary. There's a difference. So with Eris's healthy boundary, you can actually heal your soul and your expectations of what you deserve in life. Calls me ma'am. I am not a knife rapist, ma'am. He says it in a way better way. I am not a knife rapist, ma'am. And it feels like the boys, the clean boys at Army Navy Academy, where they treat you with respect and it's a sense of endearment instead of like a psycho troll. I'm a movie star. I'm everything. You're nothing. No. I am not a knife rapist, ma'am. And then I go, where were you the past 9 months? Oh, Eris goes, I was asleep. Elijah knife rapes me and goes, I go, what the fuck? And he goes, I'm asleep. And I go, you're asleep? That was asleep? Asleep people don't stab. And then Eris comes through. Where were you the last 9 months? I was asleep. Yeah, that's what asleep is. That is asleep. The other is a demon. Eris is not a demon. Elijah is a demon. So Eris provides the healthy contextual boundary to register in your brain that you might have been accurate. So that now you can provide yourself the space to heal. Somebody goes, I want an Eris in my life. Yes. I also provide this for help. But I know it's not the same. Eris is such the golden boy that it goes, yeah. That's like the cute guy that I would have a crush on after I just got like demolished. So Eris is my boyfriend. He's my non-romantic boyfriend. There's a sense of romance between us, but it's like divine romance instead of sexual romance. Seriously. You need that in life. Some people connect with their gay best friends. And it's the same. There's a sense of romance there, but it's non-sexual. And then it provides the soul to heal. All right. If you were Boromir, I would be more than happy to be Éowyn. Okay, so here comes Eris. And I don't feel like Eris is second rate. In fact, Eris makes Elijah Wood look second rate. At every angle. Even on a soul twin flame level. Okay? So here comes Eris, the golden boy. And it makes me look at Elijah like Elijah's a troll. And here is my real Boromir. Yeah, I'll be Éowyn. And then his response is, you are not Éowyn. Because that's how Eris feels about me, is that I'm not fucking Éowyn. And you know why? Because I'm leading a planetary ascension. I'm by myself, and Elijah Wood ain't Vigo. So Eris brings a sense of sanity back into this proper context of what is really going on. Instead of this delusion of everything. And that proper context begins to help heal the soul. Because now it feels like living truthfully instead of being demeaned by everybody's lies. High vibe, low vibe. High vibe, low vibe. Okay. You weren't high vibe enough for me to enter into your life yet. So that's the shit Elijah does. You're not high vibe enough. You're not wealthy enough. You're not famous enough. You're not high vibe enough to have me in your life. Okay? Eris's response. Like, you're the highest vibe person on the planet. I'm high vibe. I'm not low vibe. I was asleep. You did some work that woke me up, and now we can be together. So it heals the brain of psychodogma. Where it goes, oh, one of us is worse than the other, or whatever. There is an actual resonance factor that was blocked by calcified energy. And yeah, we broke through, like breaking through the boy in the iceberg. Now, Eris feels more like the boy in the iceberg than Elijah does. So I feel more like Katara opening up the iceberg for Aang than I feel. Okay, so it's not gross. So now it's not this like, I'm up here being Galadriel dealing with a demon Frodo. Now he is also like a male Galadriel, and now we can be together. So even if Eris is just a spirit, the need for my brain to calculate around these soul wounds removes myself of the delusion that I'm the bad guy for infinity. All right, how Eris deals with Elijah. Arrow, arrow, arrow in Elijah. Like, take that out. He just, like... So then my brain is not going, how many chances do I need to give him to be a good person? So Eris is playing the good older brother character and taking that out. Somebody says, oh my God, I want an Eris. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Okay. Eris, you are my star player. So we would have, like, Lucifer treats me the same way, but Lucifer is Lucifer and Eris is Eris. And Eris is coming in after all of these extra wounds, and Eris actually has better red ray coming through. Where Lucifer is way more, Eris is way more psychotic and way more tricky and more complex. Where Eris is more masculine, simple, and easy. Like a concrete wall. And he comes off like Ewan McGregor's character in Big Fish. I can do this, I can do this, I can do this, I can do this effortlessly. This is my life. And it's so charming. So he is my star player as I am his. I can do this and this and this. So now my heart belongs to Eris instead of Elijah. Even, it's just like having your heart belong to a dragon. But Eris presents himself in a human format, and Lucifer presents himself in a dragon. And so I identify with the human spirit format than the dragon one. Eris at the last instance also comes off like Benjamin Franklin. We do this today. We move forward this today. I'm an inventor. I am creating simplicity and order and problem solving every day, all day long. I am at the forefront of the revolution. Gryffindor begins with me. That's the energy. Okay, so Eris provides my soul with healing just by going, I will be amazing. Because then I look at a new potentiality and it's better than what my brain currently had calculated with anybody ever before. And that's that. Now, if Eris does not manifest in the physical flesh, then Eris is the model for how our children can elevate into. And Eris still remains the golden boy of Gryffindor. And that is that. All right. Mental body install for the soul wound. Healing the soul wound. And then Lucifer comes through and is like,
I wish I was the model for healing the soul wounds, but I love the rest too.
Yeah, like Lucifer.
Lucifer has a soul wound.
So Lucifer had a soul wound. I helped heal it. Eris will help heal it even more. And Gryffindor is where teamwork really begins. Really, really, really begins. So Ravenclaw gets even smarter. Let the mental grafting go around your body. Let the metal grafting go around Eris. Now, there are dwarf planets around the infinite universe. In Andromeda, there are about 12 that are like Eris. In other galaxies, there are other dwarf planets that are like Eris. Find yours. Maybe yours is a girl. There are Eris brothers and sisters, and there are Eris cousins. Find yours. and do a mental body install on them and connect it to you. Connect it to your lower root chakras. And then it says, I didn't know Eris would be the soul healer. And if you look, the Greek goddess of strife and discord, that is exactly what Eris is supposed to be. And if you want to build an 8th house nexus system, and it just gives you faith. Because I was supposed to do this video today, and Eris showed up last night. And it makes you believe in miracles all over again. Some of you have an Eris or a few in other galaxies. Try to get them all, maybe, at least someday. But you'll definitely want to mix them in your Eris charm. We're going to put the petri dish goo over our metal grafting. And then we're going to put it in the metal grafting around Eris, whether it's human form or dwarf planet asteroid form. And then we're going to paint our self charm. Find a way to help this person. So I'm going to paint Kali Ren charm on Eris. And I go, can you help me deal with you? And then Eris comes back with the best friend charm, because that heals. And then we paint ourselves with Eris charm. Through the tips of our tail. It should be pooping out, ma'am. And then you get the little trigger. Eris feels a little annoying because it's Gabriel, but it's a happy annoying. It's not a, I want to stab him annoying. It's a, you're a lot. You're a lot to take in, Eris. Because we're actually very unrealized, and Eris's astral form is a god. And maybe we're sinking in our soul wound, and Eris is go, go, go. And I realize that I may come off like that to some of you, and that's okay. The last part about healing soul wounds is going to be the black paint of the black tar heroine and the goddess of time. So we think of our soul wounds now in infinite levels of time instead of maybe in the next decade, more next 100 years. So it requires actual faith, real faith, instead of I don't see anything manifesting. It's been a decade. Mother Earth behaved like that, there would be no Mother Earth. All right, so now we have the black tar heroine paint on Eris, maybe some of the other Erises, sisters or cousins, and ourselves. And then we times it by 50. 50 layers out. And then Eris's 50 and our 50 kind of merge. That's where it best friend charm. It's up and out and down. Then we put more virtue juice. And this virtue juice actually congeals in each layer through all 50 layers in between the black tar heroine. Because we don't want it to go down the drain or to waste. So it congeals like fat. It becomes solid. Somebody says that feels so good in their mental body. Feels more whole. The biggest thing about Eris is that Eris makes me feel beautiful on the inside and on the outside. And that heals everything. Elaine made me feel that way when I was in my hunger strike. Thumbs up, Khaleesi. Keep going. That was important. Started the reverse. Ew, why did you do that? That's gross. You're so full of yourself. Ugh. Why would you even? Your ego is so huge. Inga, I talk to the whales. They don't want you to do that. That's stupid. That was Inga. I talk to the whales. I did. I know more about what they're saying than you. I'm the authority, not you. Thanks, Inga. Psycho. That's not what they said, but that's what they said. Believe me. Eris comes through. Never stop being a Khaleesi. We're gonna work as a team together. See how simple and non-drama Eris is? Okay. So now we have like this figure eight thing going between us and Eris. And then if you have other planets, then it's like an amoeba. So now we're going to do the 50 layers of the Gryffindor lava honeycomb with the hot pink paste. And then we do it on Eris. And there's a blend. And then Eris goes, I have no problems in infinity. Look around. So Eris can see eye to eye with you, and there's a sense of commonality between the two of you instead of everybody going, there is no such thing as anything but love. And then that homeless person, that's just their problem. That's their karma. All is love, all is light. That's that person's karma. I am perfect. So Eris heals that psychosis. I have no problems, just look around. And then we go the 50 Ravenclaw blue gels. Eris gets a 2. And then the pearl honeycomb inlays. Then Eris goes, no, I have to be smart. So that was where Eris was. And now Eris is going to be smarter. Yay. We're going to let the porcupine go through. Eris's brain is going to explode with porcupine and then plug in to all the little layers. Like toothpicks through cake. To hold the cake. Somebody's asking if we can pour gray cake on this. Yes. We go, Eris or something better, charm. We're going to pour gray cake on. And you might still be holding fear of like knife rape in your vagina. Mine's pushing through. What's been happening is people will present themselves in the astral planes as like allies, but their lower selves will not be cleaned out. So as I let go in the lower worlds, then they just knife rape me. And Eris, as though I'm afraid, conditioned with fear, that Eris will do the same thing. And so I push that energy forward, and he goes, no, my good Gabriel goes down to the bottom of the cliff, because I'm a ninja. So that begins to heal a soul wound as well. Yeah, Eris or something better. Lucifer's funny with me about his, and sets me up with expectation that I have more work to clean out for him, right? So setting expectations when you're not perfect is really good. And I know how much work I have to do for Eris, and it's like a page a week. All right, next. We let the metal mesh wrap around, but we're going to include it like it's a double yoke. Eris is like, I'm your fake twin flame. It's just a mental body where we're healing soul wounds. So it's a safety net and nothing more. It also heals the soul wound of trans and middle sex individuals and non-identified gender. And that's why Eris will show up as a guy or as a girl. Because that's a soul wound. You'd be a female soul that was birthed in a male body. That's an issue. That's an issue that will never go away. Somebody said, oh, it's like a black person being born in a white person's body too. And I don't know about that because I don't have that issue. But maybe, yeah, I'm not going to negate it. I'll listen. Or vice versa. So they feel like they need to be culturally black, but they're actually like, I like ballet and the opera. It seems superficial, but it's not really. Especially if your family abuses you for it and your friends like attack you all day long. Absolutely. When who you are on the inside doesn't match who you are on the outside, it creates a soul dysfunction. So Make sure that metal mesh gets good. And then we're going to pour shit. This is just the beginning of our relationship, so it's just the dragon shit part. This is our introduction. And that is another soul wound healing. Because many of us, our friends, were our friends up front, and then it just fades. But with a dragon kind of individual, those first moments are the dragon shit parts, and it's an eternal journey instead. It's dragon shit and yolk, ma'am. Dragon shit and yolk in this double egg and around the egg. And then we're gonna put one layer of black tar heroin on the outside of the metal mesh between us. And then we're gonna have a dragon set on fire. Lucifer, Lucifer gets us set it on fire. And then you start to see the friend boundaries begin to show up. I don't want to deal with your knife rape. I want to deal with mine. And not my victim, but my persecutor knife rape. Whatever left I have. So there's the healthy boundary scenario where we're not stabbing each other. Maybe he doesn't have victim issues. He works on the persecutor issues. It's okay, Eris, if you have victim issues with knife rape, we can work together on them. Then we have, oh, this is a component of us, but it's a good component. This is my relationship with Eris in my mental body. All right, that is it. This is the beginning of a very long journey of healing impossible soul wounds. All right, Kali Ren out.